Dead by Daylight has never been in a better, healthier state than it is right now, and yet everyone is wildly disappointed in the game, including me. To understand why this happens, we have to go back to March 2025, when the devs announced that they were gonna make two waves actually, of changes into the game, that they will fix bugs, implement quality of life, fix tunneling, camps, lagging, inflation, everything. And this will happen, as I said, in two waves, one coming before June of 2025, that was the release date of FNAF. It was very easy to understand why, because they wanted new players to feel more welcome. DBD is notoriously a very unwelcoming video game for new players. And then there would be more changes coming later in the year with anti-camp, anti-tunnel, anti-slug, incredible bug fixes, and quality of life, and rewards for P100, and a lot of things that the players had been asking for a very long time. Now, how will they do that, considering that they laid off a lot of people during the first half of the year? They would stop pumping out new content. And silly me, I guess I am also subjected to scams. Silly me, I believed this. I thought, well, yes, if you have to create a new killer power with new animations and new skins and new perks and new survivors with their new perks and the new map that you have to balance every 3 months, of course it's going to be hard to focus on bug fixes and quality of life and anything new, especially with a smaller team because of the layoffs, which I'm pretty sure, like, as much as we all hate the layoffs at Behavior, I am 100% sure they are not the devs' fault. Like, if there is one category that has a fault in that, it's shareholders, of course. I don't think anyone at Behavior wanted to lose their colleagues. So whenever I see them getting shit on because of that, I'm like, I'm pretty sure they didn't want that. But yeah, they don't come out with new content for half a year. We are gonna fix the game. Everything is gonna be fantastic. I truly believe that. And it turns out I was completely wrong, and that is the fault of the devs, because they didn't just mess up some things. They didn't just not manage to fix the bugs or whatever. No, they tried to implement some changes into the game, changes that I think are required. Anti-tunnel, anti-camp, anti-slug. I mean, anti-slug, yeah, I don't think it's required, but anti-tunnel and anti-camp, I think are really good measure. Look at the match in the background. This is me playing Legion and basically watering at the mouth the second I see that this Cade is extremely inexperienced. I know that I have to focus on this survivor. Am I hard tunneling her? No. But still, if you're playing an M1 killer, even with slowdowns, whatever, unless the skill gap between you and the survivors is really, really high, you cannot afford to not focus on one survivor. This doesn't mean hard tunneling. This means going for Kate and then Meg and then Kate again and then Claudette and maybe another survivor and then Kate. This is not tunneling, but even in the best case scenario, you are completely ignoring one survivor that is not getting chased at all. And that is usually not very fun. Like, it happens to me a lot, being very stealthy as a player, a survivor, that I am the one getting ignored. And I don't like it. Yes, like, you can just put yourself in the middle of the action and take a hit, even take a down, like take a hook, but the killer is still gonna search for the Kate in this scenario. And I tried not to do that. I made an experiment some day ago. I played different killers with good builds, even strong killers, but just either M1 killers or killers that I'm not very good at, such as Blight. There's a strong killer, but I'm not good at Blight. And I tried to 12 hook, to go like for survivor number 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then kill someone. And I lost every single one of my matches. That was pretty obvious, you know, but I wanted to try it myself. Then I went back to Kate and Mag and Kate and Claudette and Mag and then Kate again. And guess what? I won each and every single one of my game in this other scenario. So yeah, we do need an anti-tunnel, but of course, if we implement an anti-tunnel in the game, we have to make it fair for M1 killers, because at the moment, the only killers that can afford not to tunnel are very strong killers, such as Kaneki and Blight, if you're good at Blight, And guess what? Survivors are tired of seeing Kanekis and Blight all the time. And I cannot blame them, but what the fuck do you want us to do, bro? So yeah, we do need an anti-tunnel. And Behavior proposed us an anti-tunnel. We said, no, that sucks. They tried it in, I think, the first wave of changes in June. And we were like, no, thank you. So what did they do? Did they change it? No. They gave us the same anti-tunnel to try with minimal changes. And we were again like, no, bro. And they literally spent 6 months doing that. They spent 6 months implementing minimal changes to something we already said we didn't want. And then made a surprise Pikachu face when we didn't want it. Bro, you wasted 6 months of your life on something people didn't want. Anti-Slug is something they tried to shove down our throats for like, I don't know, like 4 years now, 3 years. People don't want anti-Slug, okay? They don't want it. Maybe some survivors, okay, but even when I play Survivor, we get for slugged, I DC, because now you can DC without any penalty if everyone is slugged. GG, well played, go next. It doesn't happen so often that you need to implement anti-slug changes. But anti-tunnel, yes. I even made a video proposing what I think would be nice for anti-tunnel to really completely protect new players or whatever. No, they just try to serve us the same dish over and over, hoping we wouldn't notice that it was the same thing over and over. It was, we noticed, we didn't want it, and that's how we wasted 6 months. 6 months of 2025 on something no one wanted, and everyone was very vocal about the fact that we didn't want it. So all Behavior had to do was not do it, really. I'm sure the devs play their own game. I mean, they make it, they surely play it, but they clearly are disconnected with the reality of what the average experience for the player is. It doesn't matter if you play the game, if you develop the game, if you have no idea what the average experience for a player, for a killer or a survivor is. And you have consultants for that. You can go to a consultant and be like, hey, what would be a good idea for this? Consultants are there for many different reasons. Some are not there for game balance, but a lot of them are there for game balance. So ask them, for fuck's sake. It's not that hard. And yet, and I think nothing more than the palette density changes show how, can the devs even loop? Can I 1v1 someone on, I don't know, like Cowshed? What is the 1v1 map here today? Can we? Because they clearly have no idea how a good loop should be built. I do agree, it's hard to balance a map for both Blight and Pig, sure, but there is like a middle ground that we have finally reached after 3 attempts between god fillers as big as the block I live on and tiny trees like cuddling this single palette that may as well be just dropped in the middle of the map with nothing around it. Bro, it's not that hard. Like, that's my point. It is not that difficult to reach a middle ground. And it took them 3 tries. 3. How? And not 3 tries because they were somehow fine-tuning this and that. No. 3 tries where for like 3 weeks the game was incredibly survivor-sided, then incredibly killer-sided, and now I think we are at a good middle ground. Something could be better, but you know what? It's okay. You can't afford this trial and error. It's clear. Like, you didn't make it with 6 months of trial and error, and the game is still buggy. Like, the worst part is that we didn't just not get anything in terms of anti-tunnel, we also got I don't know what in terms of bug fixing. Legion still has no way of revealing survivors that came off the hook with Killer Instinct. That is something that has been going on since not the last edition of 2v8, but the one before that. And why? How did this just drag from 2v8 to the actual like 1v4 game and then just stay there forever? No one fixed it. This is a game-breaking bug. You can almost never get a 5th hit with Legion at this point, unless you are on top of the unhooked survivor. Hunter Hatchet still disappear into the void. Deathslinger still aims with his dick. And so yes, people are a tiny bit pissed, which I guess is understandable. And we just wasted 6 months on a horrible rift. Like, I'm so sorry for whoever designed the Reverence rift. It's atrocious. We got less cosmetics during the Bone Chill event, which, by the way, is exactly the same as last year. And we also got less shards as rewards for some reason. I can understand having less cosmetics and a worse rift because of layoffs, but what about the shards? Like, is there one shard for every single employee behavior? And now with the layoffs, we do not have access to those shards. How does that work? So yeah, people are kind of disappointed because we wasted 6 months for absolutely nothing. We wasted 6 months on 5 seconds more on Biscuit BT once of hook, and we have now different color scratch marks, and that's that. The killers are still incredibly buggy. The collision is, I would say, not being much fixed on most maps. We had to go back and forth on palette changes a billion times. And that's it. That's literally it. That's all we got. 6 months in which behavior had literally nothing else to do. I don't know, man. Seems pretty fuck up to me.